All right, so we have to do our little MLK video because you know from a while back when people started seeing what I was about, right? And I said I'm more of an MLK person because I don't really believe by all means necessary is something that I would follow, okay? But the thing is, if you recall a while back when you had some of the hip-hop community who had more of a Malcolm X type view, I have to remind people that all this popped off, right? And I said, I don't have that kind of Malcolm X view, even though I'm a prophetess and can see certain things. And what they tried to still do was lump everybody together. Okay, well then, all black people should. You can't say well then and just lump everybody together. Some people always had more of an MLK view on things. So what you're going to see is me take people back, right, for about 5 minutes to the message that was delivered. The veil broke. That also means this saying, you have some black folks that need to call other racist black folks to the carpet and say, are you really just racist because of some of the experience you had with some white people? That's what I said a long time ago. And I said, if you don't do that, you're going to have them start to take every black person's words and say what so-and-so said. And then you're also going to have people try to say, well, she must be abandoning her race if she doesn't have views like me. BS. Another thing I wanted to point out. They put out there about MLK's sexual trices, whatever he was into, threesomes. Okay, CIA put just a bit out there. That does not mean that's like hip-hop, and y'all know the difference there. And I wasn't even blasting all hip-hop. What I want to remind folks is that was all consensual at that point. What you have now with hip-hop is rape, right? They were glorifying rape, and some of them didn't realize it. So nothing like this whole MLK thing. When you see the manipulation that was tried to spun around, right? They tried to spin it. Well, MLK also, no, but he was not raping. And that's why they tried to school some of the hip-hop folks. Even some black men came for y'all and said, you know you are basically creating a rape culture. And you know it's true. So unless you're telling me that MLK was with some underage girls, right? And trying to play their minds and say, girl, this is what you're supposed to be. This is what women are supposed to be. It is not the same as hip-hop, and I'm so sorry to burst some people's bubbles this morning, but I woke up with that very much so on my mind to say, let me make sure they understand why I told some people, y'all better be careful because they're going back into that manipulative mode. There's a difference between having threesomes and all that with some consenting older women, right, who already have a mind of their own. There's another thing to intentionally use certain lyrics and words to basically mind F young girls into believing that's all they should be. So please, very much so, step back, think about what I'm saying, and own it. Or not. But trust me, most people are a lot more woke than what they realize. So now you can understand why I sat back for a while and said, I'm going to be quiet for just a little bit as far as videos are concerned until I take the opportunity to come back out and say, you know what I said a long time ago was very true. So when you're getting back into the MLK notions, right, you have to understand what he was about. He was not a politician. And this is why I warn some of the politicians not to think that when you've been in politics so long, you can all of a sudden recreate yourself like an MLK. Does not work like that. You cannot cover every single area and think for 1 minute that somebody is going to trust you. So when I talk about character, right, we got past this whole thing with, oh, somebody who cursed, you should never trust people that curse. That's not true. Depending on what's going on with that person, you can clearly understand why somebody can get into a fit of anger if you have other people either provoking or, right, not paying attention to what's coming down the pipeline that's affecting a lot of people, period. So I want to tell this little story, and you'll see why when I talk about character. This Chinese restaurant that I go to frequently. One day I walked out, I did not pay. And when I came back the next time, the woman stopped me, the waitress, and said, you didn't pay, you were distracted, you were doing something with your phone, and so you didn't pay the bill. She didn't come at me hostile. She just said, hey, I told the owner, and what the owner said, it wasn't some, oh, that black lady was trying to steal and all that. He simply said, she'll be back. She's always in here. I'm sure she just got distracted, and she'll pay next time. And that's exactly what happened. So you had two sides of character, right? You had me as patron to them, coming to the restaurant frequently. They know me. I did not question the waitress and say, you lied. I could have acted a fool and said that, but I just said, you know what? It's quite possible I didn't. So I just paid for that meal and the other meal. And there's still a good relationship there. But what's key in all that is the fact of what came out of that one cookie from that restaurant, right? I really had a lot on my mind when I've come out of this message that I was meant to deliver about the lawyers and stuff and them using legal sorcery and all that. That was a very real message when I said the veil broke, and people didn't understand completely what that meant. When you even have black folks using it on other black folks and then acting like they're these community organizers that care about black people, it gets messy. But the fortune that came out of one of those cookies, and I literally keep it taped on top of my webcam because you know you still need to cover your butt because of some spine mofos. But here's what the fortune says: you will be recognized and honored as a community leader. Guess what? That doesn't mean I would not get into politics. Nobody wants to feel like they're working with anybody who really has political agendas. You will see people push away charity. They started seeing it firsthand rather than feel like somebody's trying to pull them into being into politics. So with that being said, anybody going to any MLK events, recognize something. Equality is not just about black and white. It's been about the gender thing as well. But also recognize where you had some people try to hijack it, right? Understand something. The beautiful thing that now some, even if they were racist before, white folks understand. You do have some black folks that don't buy into everything that's being shoved in our faces. Some of us do take pride in being intelligent, all right? So here it was, this black lady with these 5 kids. Everything that somebody could usually label a certain way and being completely opposite from what they assumed. That was the beautiful thing in God saying, I want you to take up this challenge and do this for me. And that's what I did. So be blessed. Take care.